So, the dark truth of love. Kind of sounds cynical, right? Almost like a warning sign. But what if I told you that understanding this so-called dark side is actually the secret to a love that lasts? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dive into today.
So what does that phrase actually mean? Like when you hear it, where does your mind go? Betrayal? Heartbreak? You know, that moment the honeymoon phase just ends? Yeah, it's a really loaded phrase, and today we're going to unpack the whole thing.
Okay, so before we can even get to the dark truth, we first have to talk about our ideal of love. And let's be honest, we all have one, right? It's that picture of love that we've built up from movies, from stories, maybe even from our own daydreams about how it's supposed to go.
And a lot of the time, that ideal looks something like this. It's effortless, it's perfect, just this constant state of bliss. You know, the fairy tale ending. We're kind of sold this idea that real love is supposed to just happen. And look, it's a beautiful thought, for sure. But as we're about to find out, it's only half the story.
All right, now let's tackle the most provocative word in this whole phrase, dark. I mean, our minds immediately jump to something negative, don't they? Something bad, something to stay away from. But what if we've been thinking about it all wrong?
I mean, think about it for a second. Does dark really have to mean bad or evil? Or could it just mean unseen? You know, the parts that are hidden from view, the stuff that exists in the shadows of that perfect, shiny ideal we were just talking about. That's the key we're going to use to unlock this whole thing. Okay, so let's try to redefine dark, just for today. It's not about anything malicious. It's really about the hidden parts of love, the parts that require real effort. You know, it's that tough conversation you have to have after a long day, or that quiet support that doesn't always get a thank you. It's all the messy, complicated, but absolutely essential stuff.
And this really lays it out perfectly. On one side, you've got the common view, bliss, comfort, perfection. But then, the dark implication completely flips each one. So instead of constant bliss, it shows that real love involves sacrifice. Instead of nonstop comfort, it's about acknowledging the risk of pain. And instead of chasing this impossible idea of perfection, it's about being grounded in the reality of imperfection, in the other person, and yeah, in ourselves too.
So here's the crucial point. We're not talking about some sinister, evil side of love here. Not at all. We're talking about what's left, what remains, when that initial blinding glow of infatuation starts to fade, and the steady, much more complex reality of building a life with someone else kicks in.
Okay, so we've kind of reframed dark. Now let's tackle truth. What is the truth that this phrase is trying to get at? It really forces us to ask a pretty fundamental question. What is love, really?
Is it just that heart-pounding, butterflies in your stomach feeling, that amazing emotion that kind of ebbs and flows? Or is the real truth of it something deeper, something more solid, something you can actually build on, even when those feelings aren't at an all-time high?
And check this out, this shows the split perfectly. Over on the left, you've got love as a feeling. It's passive, it's spontaneous, it's something that just happens to you. But now look at the right side. Love as a truth is active. It's a deliberate choice. It's a commitment to act with love, especially on those days when the feeling just isn't there. See, one is kind of like a decoration. The other, that's the foundation.
I love this, it sums it up so well. The feeling is the spark. The truth is the tending of the fire. And that spark is absolutely crucial, right? You need it to get things started. But the truth, well, that's the real work. That's the gathering the wood, protecting the flame from the wind. It's doing what it takes to keep it going long, long after that initial flash has faded away. All right, so we've taken apart dark and we've taken apart truth. So now let's put them back together. Let's see the really powerful and much more complete picture of love they create when they're combined. And this, right here, is where it all just clicks into place. When you decide to embrace those challenging, unseen parts, the dark stuff, and you combine them with that conscious commitment to act, the truth, well, love stops being this fragile, perfect ideal. It becomes something tangible, something strong, something real. It's a love that can weather storms, because, honestly, it's built for them. So here they are, right? The dark truths of love, all laid out. And what they really represent is a huge shift in perspective. It's that shift from seeing love as just some passive feeling to understanding it's an active choice you make. It's having the courage to acknowledge flaws instead of demanding impossible perfection.
It's about accepting the reality of sacrifice, the deep vulnerability that comes with knowing you could lose someone, and the honest-to-goodness truth that all of this, it demands constant work to keep it alive.
And this is probably the most important takeaway of all. This isn't a cynical or depressing idea. Not at all. Acknowledging these truths is what actually gives love its power. Think about it. A love that can only exist in the sunlight is going to be fragile. But a love that understands and even embraces its own darkness, that's the one that can truly, truly last.
So I'll just leave you with this to think about. Does accepting all of this, the sacrifice, the imperfection, the constant effort, does that make love any less magical? Or is that exactly what makes it the most real and the most meaningful thing we can ever hope to experience?